Greetings. We're going to do the practice WOD Java 2 FileIO-CountWords. And I'm going to start the counter, or the timer, and then I'm going to look at this actual assignment. What we're going to do is basically do the same thing, but we want to know how many tokens are in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm supposed to create a new project. So I'll create a new Java project called FileIO-CountWords. Use the default location. And then I'm going to create inside there a package called WOD.FileIO-CountWords. Creating the package info.java. Oh, and I've also got to enable check style so that's all good. And once I do this, so this will implement WOD Java 2 FileIO-CountWords, and save that out. And then inside this package, I'm going to create a Java class called FileIO-CountWords. I need a main program. And it all looks good. So as we're getting used to, I got to create a Java doc for the class. So this will implement WOD Java 2 FileIO-CountWords. Get rid of the author because I don't really like that. Save it out, get rid of that one. And then in here is where we're actually going to document what the heck this thing actually does. So this will read in webpage.html, count the words, and write out the results. We don't look at the args. Okay, now, fortunately, this is going to just be a slight change from my last program. So let's take a look at that. So let's take that and copy it in. Okay, hopefully all of you guys realize that's a good thing to do. And, oh, right. Okay, so I have to throw, actually let me do this, as you can see, because if I add the throws, it also updates the Java doc. So that's a much faster way to deal with it. So if problems reading the file. Okay, so I know, most of you know if you're experienced with Java, is that there's a class called string tokenizer, okay, which takes a string and breaks it up into tokens, and there's actually a method there called count tokens that will return the number of tokens in the line. Okay, and so conveniently, we've already got code that returns the set of strings. So what I think I'll do is I'll say count, well, we're going to say get the number of lines, count the number of tokens. So let's say int tokens equals 0 for string line in line strings. Okay, so we're going to iterate through each of the lines in the file, and we're going to say tokens plus equal line, actually, string tokenize. Let's do it this way. String tokenizer equals new string tokenizer with the line. Okay, and then we'll import string tokenizer, and then we'll say tokens plus equals tokenizer dot count tokens, and then we'll write out tokens. Okay, and then let's see if it works. So we went from about 1,100 to 5,000, 5,440. And the question is, that kind of intuitively makes sense, but I wonder if there's a way we can get another sense. And what I'm going to do, the way I'm going to do this, there's a lot of different ways you could do it, but I'm going to use Emacs. So I'm going to go into desktop, web page, and I'm going to say escape 5000 escape F. And I'm going to say, is that right? Well, escape F, meta F is not, it's not working very well in Emacs. So what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to assume, well, heck, let's do it this way. Let's say, to figure out whether this is reasonable, let's say int num tokens equals tokenizer dot count tokens. Actually, let's just do this. System.out.println tokenizer dot count tokens. Make it a function so that it works. Okay, now we'll run it again. And what we're seeing is what happens on each line. And we'll go back to here. So the first line, it thinks there's 2. And you know, that looks like there's 2 right there. They're white space delimited. And then the second line, it thinks there's 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then the third line, I'm not going to look down there. I'm going to say there should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so based upon that, my little test, I'm going to say this program works. So we'll take that out, run it once more. 5,440. Took us about 8.5 minutes. A little harder to verify. It's all good.